I am just heading out now to collect our eggs, and we are actually getting so many eggs now. We do have quite a large flock, but they also have producing a lot more eggs because it's getting warmer and the days are getting longer, but that hasn't really always been the case. There's been a lot of times where our chickens haven't produced as many eggs, or they'll even cease producing altogether. And there's really 5 reasons why chickens are going to stop laying eggs. And the first one, which I already kind of addressed, is actually daylight. So the time of year is going to play a large role in whether your chickens are actually producing eggs or not. And that's because chickens know that during the summer, the longer days, anything that's around 12 hours or more of sunlight, chickens instinctually know to lay their eggs during this time. It's warmer, and there's going to be a better chance that these eggs will actually hatch out into baby chicks. So they know to actually lay their eggs during this time. As it does get darker and colder out, chickens will stop laying eggs because, one, their eggs are going to be less likely to make it through these harsher weather, and 2, it does have a lot of energy used to create an egg. So chickens need a lot more energy to produce eggs. There's also a lot of water in eggs, so they need a lot more water during this time. And during the winter, it's usually a lot harder to get as much water and be getting as much energy as they have in the summer, because they need to utilize a lot more of that energy to actually keep themselves warm during the winter. So a big reason that they're going to stop laying, and the most common, is definitely just going to be because of the time of year. Now, you can supplement this, and you can add some artificial lighting, artificial heating to make your chickens lay throughout the whole winter. We actually don't do that here at our homestead because we want to give our chickens a break from laying, because it's just natural, but it's really up to you. And if you do end up doing this, then you might find that they're not going to lay eggs for as long in their life because they've just laid so many in such a short amount of time. The second reason why your chickens will stop laying eggs is because of health, trauma, or drama. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what that means. Health-wise, if your chickens are sick, you've noticed that they get parasites, they are molting. Molting is when they actually will shed all of their feathers, and actually start to regrow them out. This is usually going to be a seasonal type item, usually lasts around 2 months, and you'll notice that they will stop laying during this time. And then if they just are sick, trauma, if they've fallen and hurt themselves, maybe they fell off a high rock or a stump and sprain something or hurt a wing, they could stop laying during this time to really make sure that they mend that area. And the third reason is drama. Now, if you own chickens, you know that sometimes there is a little bit of drama. It can be whether you are maybe moving them into a new location, a new coop. Maybe you add some additional chickens, some new chickens into the flock, so there's a pecking order that's getting established, or there's just some drama between some of your chickens. Then this definitely can cause them to stop laying or not lay as often until everything calms down and they feel a little bit better about things. So if there is any big changes that you've had at your homestead, in your coop with your chickens, and you start to notice that the eggs are dropping, this could probably be why. Honestly, chickens are just a little bit dramatic. A lot of women are around these types of things. So that's definitely the reason. And you'll probably see that they do pick back up their egg laying after that. Now, the next reason that chickens can actually stop laying eggs is really due to their diet. And you want to make sure that you're giving your chickens a really good laying feed, something that's 16% protein or higher. And this way, it's going to help make sure that they're having the right nutrients, minerals, and vitamins that they need in order to produce their eggs. Also, making sure that they have enough water, especially in the winter or in the heat of summer. You really need to make sure that you're giving them enough water in their diet and you're providing them with enough water, because eggs are primarily water. So if they don't have enough, then how are they going to produce them? Another thing that can cause a problem with diet is usually if you're giving your chickens too many treats. Now, it's really fun to give chickens treats. I love to give chickens treats, and oftentimes it can help supplement different vitamins or minerals that they are missing. But you want to make sure that they're still getting a balanced diet. And it can really help if you do have free-ranging chickens like us, or if you have any scraps that you do put into their coop that can help supplement some of the nutrients just in case they are missing it with too many treats or just not a high protein diet. So we like to mix things up. It's definitely really great to be able to free range. I know not everyone can free range, but what's really nice about it is they do get a lot more nutrients from the sun. They get a lot of vitamins from the sun. And then they also get additional nutrients from random little buggies and stuff in the ground that they wouldn't otherwise get from their feed. Okay, let's go in and get some of our eggs, and then we'll talk about the next reason why chickens are usually going to stop laying their eggs. Another item that goes hand in hand to diet and making sure that you're giving your chickens the right diet is making sure that you're giving enough calcium in the diet for your chickens. So not all feeds are going to have calcium, so it's really important that you also provide something that's going to have enough calcium for them. Now you can actually buy things online, and I'll link that down below, different options that you have in order to add calcium to their diet. And you usually just sprinkle these on top of their feed and it will help. Sometimes we'll even add it to the floor of their coop, so when they scratch around, they're able to get some of that as well and eat it up. Another item that you can do is actually just take the shells from your eggs, and there is calcium within the eggshells that will help provide it back to your chicks. Now, we just actually crack our eggs when we're eating them, throw them into a compost bin, and pour it all in there. I've also heard of people cooking up the eggs, so that's another form that you can do as well. And this is just going to help because a lot of the exterior of the egg does have calcium, so how are they going to make a nice egg if they don't have enough calcium to begin with? You'll also notice that if you do start to get some like soft eggs, we don't actually have any here, but we've had it in the past, it's usually because there isn't enough calcium, so you might want to add that as well to your chickens' diets. Okay, I lied a little bit, and there's actually a bonus reason for why your chickens are not laying eggs, and that is the fact that you might not be able to find them. And this is going to be especially for your free-ranging chickens. They oftentimes will have hidden nests, and we've definitely seen it, especially if they're younger, maybe they've just started to free range, they'll just randomly lay eggs. Sometimes they will lay them honestly just wherever they are, and sometimes they will actually hide them, and there are a few hidden ones that we're going to go seek out right now, but this is definitely something that you find all the time. And a quick remedy for this is actually just keeping them in the coop for like a week or two and then letting them free range, or keeping them in your coop until around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. This way they've already laid their eggs for the day, and it will all be in your coop, and you don't have to have a little egg hunt around the yard. Number 5 is age. And this honestly goes both ways. So first off, if your chickens are too young, they're not gonna lay eggs. They're not old enough to lay eggs yet. Once they get to around 18 to 20 weeks, depending on the breed, honestly, it could take longer or it could be shorter amounts of time, then they will actually start to lay eggs. And you'll find that, especially if this is a breed that lays medium or large eggs, when they do start laying their eggs, they're usually quite small. Usually they'll be like, sometimes there's ones that are just baby ones. So if this is like, oh, this is kind of a dirty egg, but if this is like a normal size egg, they'll be like this big when they first start. It's crazy. They're so tiny in comparison. They're really cute. And then over a couple of weeks, they'll usually get to their normal size. You'll notice that they're going to lay their best eggs, so the most often and the best quality, so the biggest sizes, when they're around 2 to 3 years old. And then you'll start to notice that they will taper off in laying. At around 5 years old, they're definitely not going to lay as often as they were, especially in that 2 to 3 years of age. The size of the egg may be a bit larger, but they just aren't going to lay them as often. Honestly, she's getting old. She's been laying a lot of eggs, so you got to give her a break. At around 7 years of age, they will usually just stop laying altogether. This mama has actually retired. She's done laying her eggs, and she can now just help out on the farm. She can help out with scratching in the compost, eating buggies, and kind of just taking care of the yard, taking care of your flock, but unfortunately, she's probably not gonna lay eggs too much. Now that's really it. It's usually going to be those top 5 reasons why your chickens aren't laying, but I'd love to hear down in the comments if your chickens are laying, they're laying often, or if you've had any of these issues as well. Just put in a little egg emoji. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again next time.